Welcome to Friends on Air!
On this podcast, our teen hosts discuss real life with real people.
We hope to inspire others by sharing stories of individuals and pairs of friends who have dealt with mental health challenges or just the ups and downs of life, and discussing what brought them healing and inner peace.
In these episodes, we also talk about the role that friendship and connection plays in a person's emotional well-being.
Subscribe to this podcast to be a part of our Friends on Air family.
Friends on Air!
And welcome to our first video episode.
Woo!
Season 2 of Friends on Air. Thanks for coming back and joining in our conversations with us.
So excited to have you. My name is Allie. I am the wellness coordinator at the Friendship Circle. I have a background in psychology and clinical mental health counseling. And what I am really doing on this amazing teen-hosted podcast is just providing support as they need, insight on mental health, anything related, and just watching everybody shine.
Awesome. Thanks for being here, Allie.
Thank you.
And I'm Ayala. I'm the Teen Member Engagement and Partnerships Coordinator at the Friendship Circle. And that means I just get to hang around and be a friend, which is really a pleasure, and I love it.
The best kind of job.
The best kind of job. And I'm so excited to be here with all of you. In today's episode, we are actually going to introduce our teen hosts for this season. Really excited for you guys to get to meet them.
Yes, and normally our teens are hosting these podcasts, so they are writing, producing, recording. They're doing it all themselves. But today is a very special episode, and we're going to be introducing them to you, and we're going to be hearing from them about why they're passionate about mental health and this amazing podcast.
Exactly. Get excited, and we can't wait for you guys to hear what they have to share. So here we go. Let's hear your names, ages, and a fun fact about yourself. You start.
I'm Chloe. I'm 18, and a fun fact about me is I have 2 dogs and a cat.
Oh, nice.
That's a good fun fact.
Oh, I'll go. Okay. My name's Javi. I'm in 10th grade. I'm 15. I forgot that for a second. And my fun fact is I've lived in 5 states.
That's a good one.
Wow. I'm Maya. I'm 17. I'm in 12th grade. And my fun fact is also geography related. I was born in Boston and lived there until 5 years ago.
Hi, my name's Alex. I'm 15, and a fun fact about me is that I went to Israel over the summer.
Hi, I'm Rivka. I'm also 15, and a fun fact about me is that my first language is Hebrew, even though I was born in America.
Hi, I'm Bracha, and I'm 16, and a fun fact about me is that I've been to 5 countries.
Hi, I'm Ashira. I'm also 15, and a fun fact about me is I have a dog.
Hi, my name is Ursula. I am 17 years old, and a fun fact about me is I used to have a pet turkey.
Ooh, that's so cool.
Okay. Hi, I'm Ananda. I'm 15, and a fun fact is that I have a dog named Bentley.
Awesome. I'm excited for our listeners to get to know you all a little better throughout the season and all the episodes that we host. So, Chloe, can you tell us a little bit about the goal of this podcast?
So our goal is to inspire others by sharing our stories about our mental health challenges and discussing what helps us and what gives us peace of mind.
Our mission is to make teens feel seen and understood in a world of mental health and wellness.
We also talk about the role that friendship and connection plays in a person's emotional well-being.
With all that being said, let's discuss some general podcast expectations and norms. Chloe, what's our number one podcast norm?
In this space, we respect everybody no matter what.
In this space, we listen to each other and learn from each other.
In this space, we provide empathy, support, and compassion.
In this space, everybody has something to bring to the table.
In this space, we honor each individual's story and experience.
So, like we just talked about, a lot of this podcast surrounds the topic of mental health and emotional wellness. So, I want to hear from you guys. Why are you passionate about this subject, and how do mental health struggles impact your life? Let's start this way.
Yeah, I think mental health is one of the most pressing crises of our generation and of the present to adolescents. And to me, catering to people's mental health is super duper important to raising the next generation, to raising the next people in our world. And to me, like, obviously as an adolescent, I think we all struggle with our mental health. For me, it plays out a lot with like comparing myself to others and feeling inferior. But like really grounding myself in, my own mental health and, how great I am of a person, how I don't have to rely on other people to feel good in myself, has definitely been a struggle, but like is really, really important.
Awesome. I feel like that's very relatable.
I completely agree with everything you
so
just
do
said.
Especially, I feel like an underlying thing that was going off in my head when you said that was like social media.
Yeah, for sure.
Which is something
social
that we'll
media
talk about.
was really bad for me. Like I had to get off social media.
Yeah.
I just feel like that amplifies everything.
Yeah. Well, go listen to our social media episode. Javi, how about you?
I think mental health affects everybody, and it's something that's in everybody's lives, and it's talked about a lot now, but it still needs to, there's so much more that needs to change, and it's very important that it's talked about and that it's made that it's like resources are accessible for everybody and that there's no judgment and you can be able to talk to people and all of that. And it like, even like what Maya said, like she was saying that like you shouldn't have to rely on like other people's acceptance of you and all that, and you should be able to like be okay with yourself and be accepting of yourself and non-judgmental to you, just like you shouldn't be judging other people, you shouldn't be judging yourself. And I think that's very difficult to do, but it's very important to do. And it's very important to just step out of it and be like, I'm not really caring about what other people think and not really, and don't judge other people, so they don't have to care about what other people think.
Exactly.
And be able to like really just accept you and go with that and be able to do your thing.
Yeah, that's also what really like similar to what Maya said. I feel like that's a really relatable concept.
Yeah.
Thanks for sharing.
The teen adolescent brain really finds like everything as a flaw to like your inner personality, which makes it really hard to
live.
Live and be mentally stable.
It's like a survival thing.
It really is.
Like, it's like a day-to-day survival. That's not how it should be.
Right.
Yeah, like Javi was saying, like everybody has mental health, and like now that it's starting to get more talked about, like we've really grown up in a generation where like it wasn't talked about, and there was so many toxic things that like now we're realizing like had detrimental impacts on our mental health. And I feel like it's really important to talk about this, to know that like there are people who relate, and there are people who see you and hear you and want to talk to you and be with you and just like are there. And it's really hard like now, especially through COVID, to find people who like you want to talk to and speak to, but when you do, it's like a breath of fresh air.
Yeah, 100%.
It's very important to talk about mental health, and it's very important to be able to talk to other people about things that you're going through. And like even when you talk to people, be like, okay, like I want to talk about this with you, and I set the boundary of like I want to talk and I don't want advice. Like that's a big thing for me.
Yeah.
Like just being able to like really like talk about it and
like have a friend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, or like an adult or a mentor or someone that you're able to just talk to and is able to listen to you with no judgment, and you're able to like just be okay, because like being okay is so important, and it's so like difficult. Like, I'm always like, oh, I'm fine, I'm okay, I'm fine.
Yeah.
But like then like I like look at it and I convince myself that I'm fine, and then I look at it and like I'm not fine. You know, you really have to. You have to like.
Yeah.
You have to learn how to be fine.
You're fine until like that one thing tips you over, and then like you're really, really not fine, and it's hard to get back to anywhere that's close to fine.
It's like a whole like domino effect. It's like things are fine until one thing happens and nothing's fine anymore.
Yeah.
Everything's like over.
I'm passionate about mental health because it's something that I see every day in different people, and it's not as talked about as it should be. And it affects me just because I know a lot of people, me included, that struggle with it. And
I'm passionate about mental health because every single person struggles with it, no matter if they're struggling with it or they have loved ones that are struggling with it. It still impacts them no matter what. And I think that you need to shatter the stigma around mental health and talking about it, so that you can make people who are struggling feel like loved and heard.
Talking and discussing about mental health is important to me because I've struggled with it for most of my life, and I think it's important to me, especially because I struggled with it at my age, which according to some people, like I've been told when I was younger, like you're too young for it, and me talking about it is like almost healing my inner child, so it's important for me to talk about it with everyone.
Oh, that's sweet.
The reason why mental health is so important to me is because growing up, my mom always instilled in me like the values of how important it is to share how you feel and always making sure that you're okay. And it's affected me in many different ways, like from just getting up to difficult tasks.
I personally struggle with mental health for most of my life, and I think that if it was more spoken about in my life and not such a bad thing in my circles of people, then I think it would have been a lot easier to cope with, and it would be easier for so many people and for future people that will struggle with it, because everybody that does no matter what. And I think that just personally, I want to help other people in their struggles like people helped me, so continue helping everyone else.
Mental health is important because everyone suffers with it, whether they know it or not, and it's important to spread awareness so everyone knows how to keep themselves healthy.
Yeah, and just to build off of that, especially here in Pittsburgh, in this time of the year, we lose a lot of sunlight, and personally, that makes me very sad, and my mental health kind of deteriorates in this part of the year. So, talking about it and understanding that it's completely normal and that there are many ways to kind of help you out is just very important to learn. Yeah.
And normalizing too that on that note, you can get mental health treatment anytime you should need it.
Yeah.
Whether you need to pop in for a couple of sessions or it's something that you want to do for a longer period of time. It's just such a wonderful thing, and ending the stigma truly is so important. So I love that you guys hit on that.
And I also think one of the main barriers for people to seeking mental health resources is the stigma associated with mental health.
Agree.
And really this podcast and our wellness community, our objective is to help destigmatize mental health, right? If we could destigmatize mental health, let people know that this isn't such a taboo thing, that everyone struggles with it, then people can go out and not have those barriers of that one thing tips them over, but are able to feel like they're strong mentally and can seek the support of others.
Yeah, and just to wrap this question up, I loved the point that you guys touched on, which is this aspect of needing support and needing friendship and needing these connections, which is also a huge element of what this podcast is about, is how there's that intersection between having mental health struggles like all of you guys are talking about, which is so real, and also being able to find those spaces in the community. For me, I think, and for a lot of us, I think that's Friendship Circle where we are.
Absolutely.
But a place where we can find those safe people to turn to when we need. So that's something that we'll continue to talk about in every episode, is how connection and friendship plays a role in a person's mental wellness. So at the end of each episode, we ask our guests to share something that is meaningful to them, that brings them healing or joy. So I want to hear from you guys. Do you have a favorite book or musician or quote or piece of advice that you've heard that impacts you, brings you healing, or just makes you happy? We could start. We're here. Let's go with Javi.
Oh man, okay. Well, I have one that makes me continue moving, and when that one thing happens, to be able to just be you know what, let's not let this domino effect win. But it's the things you focus on grow, and that's really important to me, because when like, I don't know, there is a friend problem or there is something that's happening, if you put so much attention to it and you give so much focus on it, then it will grow and people will notice that. And that's like a really big thing for me. And also just like that brings me joy. Music is like one of the biggest things for me. I just like playing music and listening to music and singing and playing piano. Like it's very nice for me.
Do you have a top like artist that you like?
No, I have a big playlist that just like every song that I like, it just like added to it. It's like at this point it's like 20 hours long.
Yeah. Imagine if you lost that playlist.
I would cry. I would cry.
How about you, Chloe?
I actually, first of all, I 100% agree with the music. It really, like, you can match your music to your mood. It can always, like, it can be happy, it can be sad, it can be all this and that. But I actually have 2 quotes.
Ooh, can't wait.
Phone.
Yeah. Okay, the first one is from Vincent van Gogh. For my part, I know nothing with any certainty, but the sight of the stars makes me dream. That just, like, makes me want to just, like, push out of everything that's happening in the moment and, like, keep going. And then I don't really know who this next guy is, but if you are too tired to speak, sit next to me because I, too, am fluent in silence.
I love that.
That goes really well with what we were saying.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, that like tied it all together.
Yeah, I feel like it's really nice to have friends that you can talk to, but it's amazing when you find someone that you can just be silent with and just be in the moment and having fun.
Yeah, I
Those were
completely
good.
agree with that.
Yeah, nice. Thanks for sharing, Chloe. How about you, Maya?
Yeah, literature is definitely an escape for me. It's like more lighthearted books. So, I think around like 2 years ago, Sally Rooney, she's like this Irish, I want to say, writer, and she has like these 3 books: Normal People, Conversation with Friends, and Beautiful World, Where Are You? And like I really love her books. She's a really unique writing style, but there's like a lot of comfort in her books. And like I definitely read some more like books that are not maybe great for my mental health, right? Like some that are like whoa, but like definitely Sally Rooney, I take a lot of comfort in.
That's cool.
I actually have something to add with literature. What was the girl's name? Remember I said it wrong in front of everybody at that thing. I called her Whitney Houston. It's not Whitney Houston. It's Whitney.
Whitney something.
Whitney something, and it sounds like Houston, but it's not Houston. And she's a poem book. She like writes poems, and she's a book of poems, and it's called Home, and it's just so relatable. It's like I'm not like it's comfort. It's not necessarily like helping you move forward and helping you like with all that, but it's like very comforting because it's someone that relates to you, and it's somebody. It's like it's writing, and it's written exactly how I feel, and it's just so amazing to read. So Whitney,
so cool.
I love good poems. I love good poetry.
Me too.
Those were all great answers.
Poetry hits so well.
I'm a poet at heart.
Yeah. Maybe we'll have to do like some sort of episode on the healing of poetry.
Yeah.
That would actually be cool.
Yes.
Well, I love making music. I just love music. I think it just helps so much. It just connects you to like your inner soul. So yeah, writing music for me is definitely healing.
One of my favorite quotes is one of my favorite quotes is "Don't save me, just be my parachute." I love that because if someone's like let's say like physically really sick and they don't see how sick they are, like the parachute is somebody who's going to go and look at them and say, "You're sick, you need to go to the hospital," and we'll take them to the hospital. And the parachute is not someone who's going to be putting the IV in them and the oxygen tank in them, all of that, performing the surgeries. They're not doing that. That's not the parachute. If they try to do that, then they can harm them more and they can't help them. It's the professionals that need to be doing that part, which is the same as mental health. Like, you need to be there for somebody, and the parachute is being there for somebody, not every day, like being their therapist, because that's not their job. And being someone's therapist can harm you and the other person too if you're not trained in that. So I just like that because, people have to realize that you don't need to just save everyone. You just need to be the parachute that guides them.
Awesome.
I'd say a few things that help me get through with life and my mental health is just a couple things. Number one, this sweater that I'm wearing that says Self-Love Club. Whenever I look at it in my closet, it just brings me a little joy. On the back, if you ever see me, you'll see it says, all you need to do is be kind to yourself, which is one thing that I try to live by now, is just like being kind to myself, not worrying about what others think, because as my favorite quote goes, self-care is not selfish. So that's another quote that I try to live by, because you have to remember that you time is not being selfish, it's taking care of yourself, which is important because your mental health matters.
You just put in a lot of good sayings in there.
It's a little hard to follow up after that, but something that's really helped me heal. I just love the album Harry's House by Harry Styles. I love Harry Styles.
Nice.
It's a little blunt after that, but
Well, music really helps me. So just any music. I love a wide variety of music, and I think that when things are like stressful, just putting in AirPods and listening to music really helps.
Yeah. I'd have to agree. I love Khalid's one album. I want to say 17. American Teen.
Yeah. I love that.
It's just like very calming to me for some reason. Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, I think the music, like your energy shift.
Yeah.
When you put on a favorite song, you could be so tired, and then when you start dancing, it's like this 180. You're this completely different person just from the power of music, and I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah. And I've started doing this thing in the mornings, actually inspired by this podcast, and I wake up and I put on daily affirmations every morning, like right off of Spotify. So like I get up while I'm like listening to like daily affirmations, and then after that ends, I like put on one of my favorite albums. So it's like it's a really good way to start my day, and it's maybe like I could tell I'm a lot happier like throughout the day after.
Maybe you should try that.
It's really cool, yeah.
Which podcast inspired that?
I think this one.
Just
this club in general, honestly.
Stop it.
Being like all wellness.
I mean, duh.
My favorite, I don't know the exact name of it. My favorite daily affirmation, it's on YouTube. I like search into my mic, and this is probably just me, and I'm like, daily affirmations, 5 minutes. It pulls up, and it says the most wonderful thing, and it's basically like, there is nobody like you. Like, you were put on this earth for a purpose. You're a unique individual, and like, if you help one person in your life, that's enough. Like, you've changed the world. And it's really cool, and I try to remember that. Because we're not always going to be perfect, but what is our purpose, and like, what's our intent? That's a nice thought.
I like that.
Yeah, that's something I live by 100%.
Yeah. Daily affirmations.
Woohoo!
They're really good for your brain.
They are. You can change your brain.
Yeah. Change what you think.
I love that. Thank you.
Thank you so much to our teen hosts for coming and sharing with us today. We cannot wait to hear more from them throughout this season.
If you walk away from one of these podcasts and you feel like you have been impacted, a story about mental health has healed you or spoke to you in some way, we absolutely want to hear from you.
Yes, and we hope that you walk away from some of our episodes feeling seen, understood, or inspired in some way. And like Ali said, let us know what you think, and also don't forget to subscribe to our channel. We'd love to have these conversations with you. So thanks for watching, and we'll be back.
Signing off from Friends on Air.